Okay, so today we will start the servlet. So what is meant by servlet? So many people knows that now we are learning the Java enterprise edition. Till now, just we are seeing the core Java. What are the OOPS concept? What are the things which are present inside the OOPS concept that we have completed. Now we will move to the advanced Java, that is the Java enterprise edition. And inside the enterprise edition, we are seeing the servlet. So what is meant by servlet? So servlet is a server-side technology which is used to handle the request, process the request, and generate the dynamic response. So what is the request, what is the response, and what is the client, what is the who will process that request. Now we will see that. So what is the servlet is simply if we move to the paint. Simply I will start the paint here. Okay, so suppose this is the paint, and what is the client? Suppose you are seeing here one thing. So simply I will come here and I will copy this thing now here. See. So what is the what is the work of the servlet? Servlet is a server side technology, means where it will be present, it will present on the server side. Okay, it is present on the server. So after that, what why we are using the servlet? To handle the request, then we will process that request and we simply generate the response. That is the dynamic response we are generating with the help of servlet. So simply I am copying this one from here. Simply will come here and here I am pasting this one inside the box. So here I am pasting, handle the request, then process the request, and here generate the dynamic response. These three things we have to remember. What is the work of the servlet? Handle the client request, process the request, then generate the dynamic response. So who will send the request? How it will be sent? Now we will see that. Suppose this is our computer. This is our computer or desktop. We will see. We can say that. Okay. So this is our server or computer, and here suppose you have opened the browser. Suppose this one is your browser, and inside that browser, suppose you are opening here inside the URL. Simply inside the URL, you are simply using or simply you are typing some URL. So suppose you want to you are starting some URL, so you are writing here www.google.com. Okay, suppose you will enter this one and you will hit the enter. So what will happen? This request will send to the server. So one server is there, right? Suppose this server is there. So what it will do? What it will do? When you will hit the www.google.com, it will send the request to the server. Okay, when you hit like that, so what it will do, it will send the request to the server. Here is the server. That server is responsible to handle the client request, process the request, and generate the dynamic response. So who is client here? That is our web browser. Web browser is nothing but the client. That is the, we can say that browser is our client. Okay, so from here we will send the request. Whenever we hit the URL, it will send the request, and inside the servlet many container is present like that. See, suppose if we take the Tomcat server here, see inside the Tomcat we have a many container like a servlet container, JSP container, security container, WebSocket container, JNDI container. These are all things which are present inside the server, and we are taking the example of the Tomcat server here. Okay, inside a Tomcat server all the things will be present. So from this one, if we send the request, what it will be do? If we have created the servlet, so what it will do? The corresponding servlet will handle that one thing, process that request, and then generate the dynamic response and send to the web browser. Okay, that is the another thing. Now we will see here. From here it will send the request, then inside the server what it will do? Here one servlet is present, servlet container. Okay, suppose here servlet container is present. What it will do? Inside this, suppose we are creating the servlet and here is the servlet. The servlet is there here. Suppose this one is our servlet. So what it will do? Simply it will come here, whatever request is there, it will handle that request. Okay, it will accept that request first, then it will handle that request, then simply it will process the request. Okay, simple. Suppose this one is our request, simply it will process the request, and after processing that request, simply it will generate the response. Suppose this one is our response. So this one is my response. Okay, and then this response it will send back to the browser, and whatever output we want, we will get it, right? Simply what is the first thing? That is the browser or client send the request, then that request will become to the server. Sorry, Okay, this one is our server. If we send the request, the server will be come to the that. Suppose we hit the end URL, that URL send the request to the server, and inside the server many containers present. Suppose we are creating the servlet, so who will handle that? That is servlet container. Suppose we are creating the JSP, so we will handle that. It is JSP container. Suppose if we have any security, then we have a security container is there, so security container will handle that. This means according to the request, that container will be handled. Okay, suppose this time we have created the servlet, so what it will do? It will send the request, so it will servlet will see that this is the servlet. So who will handle that? That is the servlet container. Servlet container first accept the request, then that request is processed by the servlet container, then it will generate the response, and that generated response is sent back to the computer, and this generated response is which type? That is the dot html. Dot html, because browser knows the html very well, because it is send the request a response in the form of the html. This is the request we are sending to the server, and this is the response that is coming from the browser. So this one is the okay. First request is going, this request is handled by the servlet, and this servlet process accept that request, process that request, and then generate the response and send back to the our computer. So that is the servlet which is used for. If you want a dynamic response, that time we are simply using the servlet. Okay, simply we will use the servlet. So what is the use of the servlet? It will handle the client request, then it will process that request, and then it will generate the dynamic response. Suppose we are using here www.google.com, we are sending the request to the server. When we hit this one, it will send the request to the server, and according to the request, that another the container is there, no, that container will be handle that. Suppose we are creating the servlet container will handle that. So servlet container will accept that request first, that is handle the client request. After that, it will process this request, whatever request we have, it will process that request, and then it will generate the response. Simply here it will generate response, and it will, whenever our response is generated, it will send back to the client. Okay, it will send back to the client. That is the mean of our servlet. That is the meaning of the our servlet. And servlet, where it is present? Servlet is a server side technology, means where it is present, it is present on the server. Servlet is present on the server. Okay, after that, the server is a software or hardware device that accept and respond to the request made over by the client. So what is meant by server? So server, we can say that it is a software, or it will be a hardware which will accept the request, process the request, and respond to the request. Okay, so made over network by the client. So there are two types of the server. First is the web server, and another one is the application server. Okay, there are two types of server we have. There is web server and application server. If we talk about the web server, Apache Tomcat, Glassfish, Jetty, these all are the web server. And if you talk about the application server, JBoss, WebLogic, IBM WebSphere, these all are the application servers. Okay, and if we are here in this class, we are using only the Tomcat server. Where in this class we are using the Tomcat server to handle the request, handle the servlet request, process the request, and means if you deal with the any website technologies, web related technology, we are dealing with this Tomcat server here. After that, server side technology, which are the server side technology. So JS Spring Boot, Spring Struts, or JSF, PHP, Python, these all are the server side technologies. Okay, and these are JSP, Spring Boot, Struts, or JSF. These all are the Java based server side technologies. Okay, these all are the Java based server side technologies. So this is the all about the servlet. If you want to create a servlet, there are two ways. Okay, there are two ways to create a servlet. Sorry, there are three ways to create a servlet: by servlet interface, by generic servlet, and by HTTP protocol. HTTP servlet. Okay, so before that we have to configure the Eclipse with the Tomcat. Before that also I told you how to configure the Eclipse with the Tomcat. So first thing is that we have to download the Eclipse. If we have, then it is okay. If we don't have, so you have to download the Eclipse, and inside that you have to use the Eclipse Enterprise Edition, same like this one. Suppose if I open this one, inside this one, here is the Java E. You have to open that. You don't have means you are not able to see this one. So what you need to do? Simply you have to come to the Windows, then perspective, open perspective, and here is the other, and here is the Java E is present. Simply you have to open that. Okay, done. Here Java E will be come. After that, what you need to do? You have to write it. You have to download the Tomcat zip file, same like this one. See here, I have downloaded the Tomcat zip file. Here like that Tomcat zip file you have to download it. We are using here Tomcat version 9.0. You can use any version of the Tomcat, but I'm suggesting that you can use the Tomcat 9.0. Okay, and after that you have to simply unzip this file, or you can install by installer also, no worries. Okay, and inside that you are seeing this much file. There is the bean, conf, libs, logs, all the things, the files you will be able to see. After that, which is the next step here? See, set runtime environment of the Tomcat in Eclipse. So where we have here we have to set the runtime environment of the Tomcat file. Okay, so we are inside the Eclipse. So how to set that? Simply you have to come to Windows, then here preference, and after that here is the server, drop down, then runtime environment is there. Simply you have to click on the add, then here we have to select the Apache we are using, so simply we have to use the Apache, then version 9.0. Next, okay, inside that browse we have to select, and where our Apache will be present, that we have to select. Suppose my Apache is present inside the desktop, simply Tomcat, then this one and this one. Okay, don't go to the bin file. Okay, just open before bin and select folder, and finished button will be appear. So you have to click on the finish button, and done. Our environment is done now. Okay, now another step is that add server in the Eclipse. So how to add server in the Eclipse? Simply you are seeing this one. This tab is here. That is the server tab. Okay, if you click on that, no server are available. Seeing like that. So simply click on this one. Then our server we have to select which server we are using. So simply Apache server we are using. Come down here. In which what is the version of our server? Tomcat 9.0. Simply we have to select that. Next, our project is not there, so it will be empty now. So after that, finish. Okay, our server is created. Now how to start the server? Okay, now how to start the server? Simply right click on that, and here start button is there. Simply click on start. Whenever your server is started, it is saying like that, started synchronize. Okay, double click on that. Okay, after that here you are able to see the ports and all the publishing items, and if you want to set anything from here you can set it. Okay, so here see 8080 port is there, and Tomcat admin port is 8005. Okay, so what you need to do, you have to use the HTTP port, that is the 8080. Simply you have to come here on the browser, and you have to type here localhost https first, and after that we have to write here localhost 8080. If you click enter here, I think we have some illegal argument exception. I think we have some error inside there. you are entering like that, if your server is started here, see our server is started here, that is the server local started synchronous. Okay, if your server is not started, so it will be give you some error like that. Okay, yours it means if your server is not started, just come here and see which is the error, and after that simply see here our after that, after resolving that issue, server is started or not. So this time my server is started, and if I entering here like that, that is the localhost 8080. Why I am using this port? Simply if you come here, and if you are seeing here, see where our server is started, so it is started on the http neo 8080. Simply we have to use this port, that is 8080. If you want to change this port, you can change it from here. Okay, if you want a different port, so you can change it from here. So for this multiple times, what will happen? It is saying like that that port is busy, so simply you have to change the port from here. So your problem will be solved, and your server will be also started. Okay, after that, see whenever you enter whenever your server is started like that, server started synchronize, and if you are entering here localhost 8080, that time what will happen? It will give you the page like that. Okay, you will get the page like that, means your Tomcat server is working very finely. Okay, but now if I come here and if I stop this one, stop. Okay, my server is stopped now, that is stopped and synchronize. Simply we have to come here, and if I refresh this one now, see what we are getting, this site can't be reached because our server is stopped, so that page we will not get. So if I start it again, start, see server is started. If I come here again and again if I refresh it, so we are getting that page. If you are getting this page, means your Tomcat is working very finely. Okay, if you want to check that our Tomcat server is working or not, simply you have to start from there, and simply you will come here and you will see localhost you have to type localhost 8080. My port is 8080. You have, if you want to find that what is your port, so you have to find it from here. Just double click on this one, and you are able to see the ports here. So simply you are click on this, you have to go this port, and if you are getting this page, means your server is working. If you are not getting this page, means some problem is there in your server. Okay, after that what we need to do, we have to create a servlet. Okay, now server is done, configuration is done, all the things are done. So now what is the thing? We have to create a servlet. So there will be three ways to create a servlet. We will see the hierarchy first. So first is the servlet interface, then generic servlet, and then http servlet. So servlet is the interface, generic servlet is a class, and http servlet is a class. Okay, right. See, inside, if you use the interface, it defines the servlet lifecycle methods. Inside the servlet interface, we have all the lifecycle methods. After that, inside the generic servlet, when we want to create a protocol independent servlet, that time we are simply using the generic servlet. And when we are using the http servlet, when we have a we have when it is used when we want to http specific methods and request and response object also, that time simply we are using the http servlet. And when we use the generic servlet, that time our request object and response object will be not there. Okay, it will not contain request and the response object. But when if you use the http servlet, it is used when we want http specific methods and the request response object also. So suppose servlet interface is implemented by the generic servlet class, means whatever method it have, that will become to the class, this class, that is generic servlet class, and whatever methods will be here, that will become to the http servlet. So which is the best way to use the best way to create a servlet? That is the http servlet method. http servlet, if you want all the things in the one class, then http servlet is best for that, because all the things like here we have a servlet interface. Inside this servlet interface also we have multiple methods. Inside this class also, generic servlet also, all the methods will be present, and whatever methods which are present inside the interface, that will come into the generic servlet, and whatever methods which are present inside the generic servlet, that will present into the http servlet. After that, here what are the http methods? There is get, head, post, put, delete. These all are the http methods. All are the HTTP methods. And now miss we will see that later how what is the value of get, head, post, put according to our request, we can, according to our requirement, we will use these methods. Okay, that is get method, head method, post method, put method, or delete method. According to our requirement, we have to use them. Okay, but multiple times we are simply using the get and the post method only. Okay, after that, here we have to create one file, that is the deployment descriptor file. So what is this means? So if you want to, if you are sending the request from the here, suppose if you come to the page. Okay, suppose here from here our request is coming and our servlet is here. So if you want to match, or if you want to map this request with the servlet, that time simply we are, for that we are using simply one file, that is the web.xml file. Without this one also we can we can create a servlet, we can map the servlet, but web.xml file is used to map the servlet with the request. If you want to match the request with the servlet, simply we are using the web.xml file, or we can say that that is the deployment descriptor. Okay, now we will try to create one servlet here. So how to create a servlet? So simply we have, what we need to do, we have to click on the file. Okay, then new, then here we have to create a project. While creating the class also we are creating the project. No, this time also we have to create the project. But which project we have to create? Dynamic web project. Which project? That is a dynamic web project we have to create. Simply click on that. Here you will come, then after that project name. So this is the project name. We can use any project name here. That is the, I am writing here uh, first project. I am writing here first project. Okay, first project I am writing here, and inside that what we need to do, your, if you are, we have set the runtime environment before, so it will be selected before that. Okay, if you are not set the runtime environment, so you have to click on the new runtime and all, and you have to set again and again. Okay, so you have to select here version 9.0. Okay, after that just click on next, then click on the next, then you have to click on this one, that is the web.xml file, because we want the web.xml file to, for matching the, for mapping the request with the servlet. So for that we have to create a deployment descriptor file, that is the web.xml. Simply we have to come here and you have to create the web.xml file and just click on the finish. Now our dynamic web project is created here. That is the first project. After that, inside that many things are present, like deployment descriptor, javax, wx web service, java resources, build, src. All these things are present here. Inside the java resources also multiple things are there. Src main java. Here we have to create a servlet, or you can create here also directly, but we can, I will suggest you, here you have to create a servlet. Inside the libraries we have a JRE system library, and this, that servlet we have that server we have created, that will be also present here. After that, here is the build, and here we have a src. Inside the src we have main, then java, then web app, and inside the web app we have meta inf and the web inf. Okay, inside the web inf we have a web.xml file. This is the deployment descriptor file, that is the uh, we will use these things for mapping our request with the servlet. Okay, if you are seeing like that, and if you want to see the code, simply click on this source. Now we will not use that today, and simply if you want to use, what we are doing simple, simply we have created the project. Now here I am writing, right click, and then here I am creating one file. Inside the web app you have to create. Okay, remember this thing, you have to create on the web app, new, and here I am creating the HTML file. It is the index.html. Okay, if you are click on next, so it will ask you which HTML if you want. So I am simply using the HTML5. Just click on finish. If you have a little bit idea about the HTML, so here is the HTML we have, right? So here is the head tag. Here is the main HTML tag. Inside the HTML tag we have a head tag and the body tag. Inside the body tag, whatever we will write, that will come to the this part. From this one to this one. In this part, our body part will become. If you write anything in the head, that will come into the here, right? Here it will become. This is the short uh, short description, short about the HTML. If you want to learn about HTML and all, so you have to learn it by yourself. Okay, so here see, here is the title. Insert the title here. So suppose I am writing here the first page. Simply I am writing here first page. Okay, and inside here is the body. See, here is the body. Inside that I am writing the h1 tag. If you know this one, see, you knows that why we are using the h1 tag and all. Okay, so if you write like that, hello world. Simply I am writing here hello world. Okay, now index.html file is created. First page is also created. First page where it will become and here it will become. We will see that now. Simply what we need to do. Simply all the things are done now. That is, we have created the index.html file inside the web app, but till now we have not created the server. Okay, so now what we need to do. Simply you have to right click on the project. Then you have to click on run as, and here we have to click on the run on server. Then we have to click on server, then next, and here we have to add the project. Now our project is added here already. So if your project is not added, so you have to add that, and after that click on finish, and then click on restart the server. See, your default browser will be open here, and you are able to see whatever things we have wrote there, you are able to see here. Okay, see what we are getting, that is the hello world. Okay, and after that first page where we wrote that, inside this one, see, inside the head tag we wrote the first page, so that will be come into the inside the head tag. Okay, and whatever we things we are writing inside the body, that will come into the body part, like that. Okay, so till now we have not created this servlet, just simply we have created the web module project, and we created there one index file, and inside the index file we created the title and the body, and we have successfully created that. And if we run this one, so our page is working very fine. So for today we will keep it here only. If you are any if you try to do this, if you have any doubt and all, so you can ask me. Okay, and if you are facing any issues, simply we will connect, and we will solve that problem. Okay, and we will see another thing, say how to create a servlet and how to map that servlet with the request. So tomorrow we will see that. Okay, anyone have any issues till here? Anyone have any issues? Hello. Hello. Okay, okay. How to check our localhost? Can you give it on that? How to check our localhost? Simply you have to see, if you are starting the server now, so simply you have to click on this one. Simply double click on that, and simply you can type localhost. Simply you have to write, come here inside this one, and you have to write like that only, that is the localhost, then colon, and after that whatever port is here, see whatever port is here, you have to type that port there. Simple. If you are getting that page, means your server is started. You are not getting, means you have to start your server again. You are in one error and all. Sometimes our port is busy, so we have to change that port and all. We have to do that things. Just try that. If you have any issues, no, I will tell you again. We will connect and we will solve it. It is the way, or we can change the port. We can change this port also. If you want to change, we can change this port also. Okay. Okay. So that's it for today, guys. Try to do that step, all the things, all the steps we did here. Okay. If you have any issues and all, please ping me. We will connect and we will solve the issues. Okay. That's it for today, guys. And today's assignment is that you have to create a one web module project. Inside that you have to create one index file, and inside the index file you have to print something, and you have to start the server. You have to run the project, and if you are getting like that, you have to say, sorry, not like that. You have to get you if you are getting like that, so you have to send it on the group. Okay, that is the assignment for the today. So try to do that. I know first time many people will face the issues. If you are facing the issues, we will solve that. Okay, no worries. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for your time. We will meet tomorrow.